Are you an early bird or a night owl?
I was a night owl early in my career, and then with the time I switched back to an early bird. So I guess I could be MB Timus.
Coffee or tea?
I love tea. I drink a lot of it, which actually makes coffee more effective. So once in a while, when I truly need a shot, like right now, ideally I should get a coffee, but I didn't, so we'll see.
Do you have any routines you use to improve your energy and focus?
If I need short-term concentration, I think music helps, and depending on the situation, it could be either calm piano music or the opposite, kind of alt rock. Also, what sometimes helps is just taking a short break. So if I need to put my thoughts together, then maybe getting up, getting a snack, a drink, walking around a little bit, trying to not focus on the problem for 10 minutes, and then you come back and your brain already maybe has semi-solution to it, so that helps.
You're cooking for the whole team. What is your signature dish?
My first reaction would be to do a takeout, but if I have to cook, I'd probably do stir fry and chicken tenders.
If you could pick up a new skill in an instant, what would it be?
It would be flying jets.
What's the worst piece of advice you've ever been given, and why was it so bad?
I frankly do not remember. I guess the bad advice comes into one ear and goes right out the other. I try not to follow it. And ultimately, I believe that we should be responsible for our own actions as opposed to blame our advisors.
What's the most useful thing you own?
A house.
What item do you never travel without?
Water, smartphone, backpack, my underwear.
Who has inspired you in life and why?
Albert Einstein. When I was a kid, I was really into different sciences, including physics, and was really impressed by his creativity and how he could come up with such ingenious solutions without having much to rely upon.
Hi, my name is Zosia. I'm an employer branding specialist in Wrike, Prague, and today I have a pleasure to talk to Wrike's CEO, Andrew Filev, who visited our branch, so I took a chance to ask him a few questions about Wrike, about our past, about our present, about our future, and much more. Hi Andrew, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm really glad to have you here. How are you feeling? How does it feel to be in Prague, Czech Republic, when the summer is coming to its end? Usually you are in sunny California.
Always great to be in Prague, and I'm also super happy to see the office. There's been a lot of change since last time I've been here. It's getting better, bigger, and prettier. It was great to see a lot of Wrikers earlier today at the Ask Me Anything session. A lot of familiar faces, a lot of new ones. The company is growing, a lot of great people, so exciting.
Glad to hear that. Andrew, so why don't we start with a question I'm sure you heard a million times, but for those who haven't heard it directly from you, tell us the story of Wrike. How did it all start and how did we get to the point where we are at now?
We started about 15 years ago, solving the problem of making teams more productive and helping them accomplish their best. So we did that by doing a couple of things. We made work management accessible to everybody, so they could really bring their work onto the platform and start collaborating. So collaboration was another big piece of it. And we've been innovating since then. It's been about 15 years of constant growth, won numerous awards on the way, and keep bringing very interesting, unique capabilities to the market up until this very day.
It's really inspiring and really great to hear, but I'm also wondering about your personal story. I know that you have technical background in computer science, so I'm really wondering about this transition to the business side of the industry. Has the full transition happened, or are you still in the loop with the technical aspect of it?
The way I think about it, there's inventions and there are innovations. Invention is when you come up with some brilliant idea, and innovation is when you actually deliver it to the customers and they're using it on a daily basis, or consumers, right? So innovation requires both technical skills and business skills. I'm always was passionate about building products that people use and love. Of course, as a CEO of a sizable company, it's all about business. But I love technology, and when I get a spare minute, which is not often, I try to stay in touch with specific areas. I'm very passionate about AI and have always been. So that's specifically kind of the area that I like to poke in. Sometimes it's more of a hobby, but occasionally I bring some of that kind of creativity into the work environment. For example, in Wrike, as a whole company, we're very passionate about work intelligence, and it helps me to be a better CEO, to understand kind of both the user side of it and also technological side, and kind of trying to marry the two.
And my next question is inspired by an article that I recently read. If you're watching us on YouTube, I will link the article in the description below. It's about a phenomenal initiative in GitLab, which is CEO shadowing. So let's imagine if I were to start a workday with you and I was, following you closely, what would I see? Walk me through your typical working day.
Well, probably it's not a surprise that you're going to see a lot of meetings. Most of them would be internal meetings, but occasionally it could be customers or investors or press or candidates for when I'm doing the interview. The meetings could be pretty calming, they could be pretty intense. On a personal level, I prefer to keep everything fun and friendly, but at the work level, we have ambitious goals, we have huge markets, so the work does sometimes gets intense. We're trying to solve big problems and move fast.
And where do you usually get the work done? From your home, from the office, on the plane?
Try to get it done everywhere, and this is where Wrike also comes handy. These days, I do a lot of work from home. But we're also starting to bring our employees back into the offices. Lately, me and some other executive team members have also been traveling a lot through our offices. Hope to also do customer tour in the coming days. So it's right now it's a mix between home, road, and different Wrike offices.
Speaking about traveling to various offices, right now we have 9 offices around the world: Silicon Valley, San Diego, Dallas, Prague, Tallinn, Cyprus, Dublin, Melbourne, and Tokyo. What are the reasons behind opening offices in those particular locations? What makes each office unique, and how do these locations contribute to the overall growth strategy?
The biggest reason is access to great talent. That's what stands behind every single one of them. Of course, there's a little bit of a micro story. So Silicon Valley is our headquarters. San Diego, we opened as an expansion to bring more talent in California. Dallas expanded us into central states, helped us to both increase their customer coverage, but also get access to great local universities. Dublin was our first international hub for customers. Incredible access to very diverse international talent there. Prague gives us amazing access to engineering talent, and it's right in the middle of Europe, and also great universities here. So wonderful location. Tallinn allowed us to expand a little bit towards the Eastern Europe, and then going further east, Tokyo and Melbourne help us to cover Asia Pacific region. Again, incredible talent across all of them, and the combination of good global culture, but also some unique flavor in each one of the offices.
And in addition to the offices that we just talked about, we have a lot of remote employees around the world, which is a heritage of the obvious reasons. The COVID-19 pandemic changed the way businesses operated, including Wrike. How did this transition influence Wrike? How did this transition happen in Wrike?
Work management in general, I believe that every single company needs it, but this is especially true in a remote or hybrid work environment. Helps people get visibility, helps get teams on the same page, prioritize and get the work done, collaborate more efficiently, stress less, and kind of achieve more. So we have a saying, Wrike on Wrike, meaning kind of internally a lot of our processes run in Wrike. So from that perspective, switching was easy. There's social parts with which we try to continue to maintain strong ties in the team and build that culture and spirit. But from their pure kind of work perspective, visibility perspective, we had everything to work smoothly in the remote or hybrid environment, and we also helped a lot of our customers have that smooth transition.
And the next thing that is just waiting to be asked as we're sitting in this beautiful, modern, bright office, businesses are trying to adjust to the new normal. Some of them are not in the new normal yet, or like disagree with the term. For instance, for me, I remember the time, before the pandemic where we were going to the office, but we have junior professionals who are either entering the job market right now, or they gained their first experience in the pandemic. So for them, remote working is the normal. But I'm just curious about how you think the future of work will look like, what your preferred scenario is.
Generally, in life, I believe in diversity of solutions, right? So as a world, we'll kind of embrace different modalities. There will be companies that are remote first, that were started remote and will continue to work remote and will enjoy it. There will also be a lot of companies that will go back to normal office work, and they will enjoy doing that. And there will also be a lot of companies who will try to combine the best of both worlds and will try to find the optimal solution that gives employees the productivity of their remote work and kind of less commute, better work-life balance, more flexibility, but at the same time will want to recreate their culture and support and mentorship and other opportunities that coming together. For us as a company, we're trying to get the best of both worlds, and having work management solution helps, because then you can easily alternate. Again, it becomes less about our work processes and more about the work processes exist as a foundation, whether you're remote, hybrid, or fully in office. What changes is you get additional layers of collaboration and culture when you're kind of progressing on that scale of presence and connectivities. And I think that's the future, giving businesses that freedom and flexibility, and giving employees the freedom and flexibility, but at the same time driving the culture and cohesion and figuring out your own ways to come together and spend some time together and work together and have some fun together as well.
You mentioned culture a few times. Could you please tell us more about how this transition to remote and then hybrid model influenced Wrike culture? And what is Wrike culture?
We have three values. We have collaborate, which embraces not just working together, but being nice people and helping each other. We have the value of executing the work or getting things done, or ownership and accountability for the work that we're doing. We love to win and we love to accomplish, and that's what that value is about, right? It's not just about doing things, it's about accomplishment and getting the win and celebrating that win. Third value is growth. It's about their intellectual curiosity, being open to feedback and suggestions, and that internal desire to be the best at what you do, and to embrace the fact that it's a never-ending journey.
So you mentioned our three core values, grow, execute, collaborate. What does Wrike do to make sure that those values are being upheld? And what does Wrike do in general to attract and to keep top talent in the market?
Attracting the right people is the first step on that journey. When we're interviewing, we're trying to make sure that we hire people who share the same cultural values. Then just trying to live them every day, embracing feedback, and again, if we're not living those values, then being open to that idea and kind of self-correcting. As a company, we built some feedback mechanism that help us improve globally as a company, and then as teams, and then as individuals. We tie part of it to our values as well, so we're trying to keep it honest.
Amazing. And I know firsthand that Wrike creates room and opportunity to nurture the skills that newcomers already have, but also gives a lot of room to develop new skills, which is great. But if you were to pinpoint one thing, one value, one characteristic that each and every Wriker must have in order to be successful, in order to thrive in the team, what would it be?
Ownership, which is kind of connects to caring about the work that you do, and ultimately if you try to own it, you will try to get it done, and if you own it, you will need to collaborate. We're a business. There's no way for you to be successful if you're not collaborating with other people, and ultimately if you want to kind of be successful multiple times, it will require growth. You can't just keep the same bag of tricks through a long successful career. You have to stay on your toes. We operate in a very competitive industry. We also try to innovate a lot, both externally and internally. And so if you want to be successful in that environment, by definition, it will require you to continue to learn and grow.
And let's imagine a scenario. We have a great candidate who shares the same values, who has all the skills and knowledge that Wrike needs for the position that the candidate is applying for, did an amazing job during the recruitment process. Everybody fell in love with the candidate basically, but they're still hesitating whether they should join Wrike or go with a different company or stay where they are. What would you tell them to convince them to choose Wrike?
At Wrike, you have an incredible opportunity to build a product that's applicable to every business, and through that you can change lives of most people out there. There's a lot of inefficiencies in how businesses operate today, and that not only impacts the companies, but it impacts individually their people at those companies. So our mission is to help our customers achieve their best, and we've got amazing customer stories. It's also very pleasant and surprising to meet in real life, sometimes unplanned, real customers of Wrike, and a lot of household brands are Wrike's customers as well, which makes us very, very proud and makes us happy about what we do. But ultimately, do what your heart tells you. We want you to be happy with your decision, because if you're happy, you'll be a great teammate, you'll be passionate about what you do, which ultimately will help you be successful at the job, and that's what you want, and that's what we want. So tell you what your heart, do what your heart tells you to do.
Andrew, these are all my questions for today. Thank you so much for joining us for these few minutes. It was really great to hear from you. If you're a Wriker, you know that Andrew spends time to meet with us, to give us opportunity to ask her questions on a regular basis. If you're not a Wriker yet, check our open positions, because we are hiring around the world, as we mentioned, and go back to our channel, subscribe to our newsletter, to our blog, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.